Here are 200 questions to ask a girl. Looking to get to know a woman a little bit better, or need some questions for a woman you've known a long time? Tired of the same old small talk questions? We are here to help with a list of interesting and engaging questions to ask a girl. These aren't your normal run-of-the-mill questions, and some can actually get quite deep. These questions will definitely get an interesting conversation going. You can pick and choose the ones you like, or you can just ask them all. I added a bit of commentary about how to use each question and some possible ways to take the conversation. You can read through the commentary or just skip it. Your choice. These questions are great as standalone questions to ask a girl, but for a really great conversation you'll want to ask her plenty of follow-up questions. Enjoy the great conversation. You can thank me later. Questions to ask a girl list. This first list of questions to ask a girl is a great place to start. Each question has some commentary that might help with the questions, but feel free to ignore the commentary if you want. There's also many more excellent questions to ask a girl without commentary below the first set. So without further ado, here are our best list of unique questions to ask a woman to get to know her better. 1. Where is the last place you would ever go? No telling what she'll come up with for this question. You can get pretty creative with it, or you can answer it literally. Either way, it'll probably require a bit of thought but could lead a really great answer. 2. What are you completely over and done with? So with this question there really isn't any way to predict what she'll say, because there are so many different ways this question can go. She might talk about a current fad or fashion, she might talk about a friend, really it could be anything. But whatever she chooses to talk about, we all love talking about things that annoy us, and she will too. 3. What memory do you just keep going back to? Perfect for getting to know a little bit more about her. Whether it's a serious memory or just one of those passing things that sticks with us sometimes, either way it's a great window into her world. Just a heads up though, this one can get real serious in a hurry, depending on what memory she decides to share. 4. What's the most immature thing your parents do? It doesn't really matter how old someone is, they still do immature things. Sometimes those things are silly and fun, sometimes they are more selfish or hurtful. Either way, this is a question that she's probably never been asked before and can lead to some really interesting answers. 5. What is the most unusual fear you have? A question that can get really funny or really weird. Either way it's a fun question that people generally like answering. Who knows, you may share an unusual fear. 6. What is your favorite TV show? Sure, this one is a really common question, but it's great because if you are into the show too you have a ton to talk about. And if you haven't seen it, now you have a good show to watch. Plus, if you don't know anything about it she'll probably enjoy telling you about it. 7. What's the most ridiculous argument you've had? I can almost guarantee this one will lead to a funny story. One that she will enjoy telling and you'll enjoy listening to. I'm sure you both have plenty of ridiculous argument stories, especially if you have siblings. 8. What do you wish people would stop asking you? At every stage of life, you hear questions over and over again. Whether it's questions about your future, questions about life circumstances, or questions about personal things, everyone gets asked the same questions over and over again. 9. What's the biggest lesson life has taught you? More of a serious question, but it can be a really good beginning to a conversation. Plus, you'll learn more about what makes her who she is and why she is the way she is now. 10. What is increasingly becoming socially acceptable? You might learn some about what movements she supports or doesn't support. But really this question is more about starting an interesting conversation about society. Just remember, it's okay that people have different viewpoints than you. This isn't a debate. You are trying to convince her you are right. 11. What pictures or paintings have had a big impact on you? This is also one she probably hasn't been asked before and she might have never thought about it. But I can almost guarantee that examples will leap to her mind when you ask her the question. Question is pretty cool because you can pull up the pictures or painting up on your phone. You'll probably get to see some cool pictures you've never seen. 12. What movie or book character are you most similar to? If nothing else, this question will tell you how she views herself or who she wants to be more like. Always good to know, and a lot fun to think about as well. There is a reason those quizzes are so popular on social media. You could split the question into two parts: which character do you wish you could be more like, and which do you think you are actually like? Or move the conversation into what books and movies she is into. You could also talk about which characters are the most interesting or unique. 13. What part of your culture are you most and least proud of? Our culture makes up a large part of who we are, and she is no different. This one can get a bit deep, but it's definitely fertile ground for a good conversation. So dive in on cultural matters and see where you both have similar viewpoints and where you differ. There will be lots of chances for follow-up questions. Just remember, listen and ask questions. Don't just think of the next thing you are going to say. 14. What's the worst and best thing about being female? A great question that she is sure to have plenty to say about. If you are severely grossed out by feminine body stuff, you might be tempted to give it a pass. But who knows, you might actually learn some stuff you didn't know. And plus they have to live with a bunch of pain in the ass stuff that goes on with their body. The least we can do is to learn a bit about it and be thankful we don't have to deal with it. I'm assuming you are a guy reading this, but I could be wrong. Lots of chances for follow-up questions to learn more, but yeah, if it's about bodily stuff you might not want to pry too much. But the good stuff about being a woman is great to ask questions about. You can also talk about what's good about being a guy. 15. What random stranger has had the biggest impact on your life? This is one that she'll probably have to take some time to think about, because it's not a common question. But it can be a lot of fun to answer and can be quite thought-provoking as well. Plus, she'll get to tell a story about her past and how it affects who she is today. Which is always good to know. To keep the conversation going, remember to ask more details about her story, ask about other random strangers that had an impact on her life, or tell her about a random stranger that had a big impact on your life. 16. What achievement are you proud of but most people would consider silly or weird? This question is a great way to find out more about who she really is and what she finds interesting or fun. If the girl you are talking to is a girlfriend, you might be able to use that info to create a game or competition that only you and she plays, or it might turn out to be great for future gift ideas. However she answers this question, you'll probably learn something new and interesting about her. Don't forget to ask a lot about the details. 17. What period in history had the best fashion? Not all girls are into fashion, but a fair number of them are. Even if she isn't way into fashion, she still might like this question. It's probably something she has an opinion on, but I can almost guarantee no one has ever asked her. To expand the conversation, you might want to ask about if different time periods were better for different genders. 18. What silly or funny thing makes you afraid or creeps you out? This is a fun question that doesn't quite delve into deep fears, but can still get strong reaction. You can talk about why the thing creeps her out and if she has any funny stories about the thing she is afraid of. You could also move the topic into more serious fears if you wanted to get a bit deeper. But feel free to keep it light and talk about humorous fears. 19. How quickly do you jump to conclusions about people? This one is a great question to find out more about how she views other people and what stereotypes she has. To further the conversation, you can ask her about what she thought of you the first time she saw or met you. Or you can ask her about what the telltale signs for a good and bad person are. 20. How would the world change if superheroes and super villains actually existed? This is a question to get the creative juices flowing, and I'm sure you both can come up with some funny and interesting situations that would arise if superheroes or villains existed. Sure, the girl you are talking to might not be too into this question if they don't like comics or watching superhero movies. But with how popular superhero movies are, it's probably a safe bet she'll enjoy this question. If she doesn't like those types of movies though, you might want to give this one a pass. Please don't forget subscribe, like. Thanks for your time.